Hello everyone and welcome back to our video. Today's video we're not doing a boss, we're going to be doing a how to build, I forgot what this video is for a second. Okay, Matrona. This is Green Matrona. I've not done a how to build on her. I've had her for quite a while. I only just recently decided to level her up and I thought I'd do a how to build for her, because she's actually quite a good character. Mainly for places like Hero Arena, but also Chaos Mode. And basically any hard content that you sort of need a healer. She's okay with it. She's not the best, but she's okay with it. Firstly, we'll look at her substats. Her CC isn't the best. Of course, she is based off a very, very old character, so her CC isn't going to be the best anyway. Maybe she gets an LR, or yeah, hopefully she gets an LR. I would like to see a Matrona get an LR. Either that or Queen Diane. It was either Red Matrona, Green Matrona, or Queen Diane. That's my top picks for an LR for Giants. But substats are quite bad. Pierce rate 32, very low. Resistance, very low. Crit chance, very low. Crit damage, that is very, very low. That's like probably the lowest I've ever seen. Crit resistance is low. Crit defense is low. Lifesteal is low. She has very bad stats, but she's mainly here for the support of her skills and her passive. And her relic isn't too bad as well. Okay, so her... first skill is Deplete Old Gauge. This is the bad Deplete Old Gauge skill, unfortunately. Even though this Matrona probably released about a year ago. This skill's really bad. One Old Gauge, 1 Old Gauge 3. The best one you can currently get nowadays is 1, 2, 3. Same multipliers, just different amounts removed. And then we've got her custom Taunt, which is a HP based taunt, which is taunts enemies and increase HP related stats by 10%. Basically, if you don't know, Red Tomiel's healing scales higher the more, I think it's regen rate you have, or recovery rate, it's either one of them, but it scales much higher, and of course her giving herself more HP related stats means she's going to heal more. And of course it lasts for 3 turns at level 1, which in a Chaos Mode PvP is very handy, especially running an Not Rush Queen Diane team, a Not Rush Aaron team, if you're running a full Giants team, it'll be quite good. Level 2, 15%, not too much of an increase, no turn increase as expected. And level 3, there's not much, but 10% HP related stat boost between 1 and 3, which isn't the most, but I do understand because, of course, if they were to do 40% or like if they would do anything higher than like 20%, 25%, it gets kind of ridiculous because not only will she heal a stupid amount with Red Tomiel, but if she deals any damage, she's also going to heal a ridiculous amount. Plus, I know she hasn't got like 2% lifesteal base, but like 20%, like 22% lifesteal is a lot. Of course, this doesn't factor in, like, none of these stats factor in like my Constellation, which will probably bump this up to like 5% lifesteal, I think. I have about 3.5% lifesteal from Constellation. Then you got her ultimate, which is just your standard Matrona ult. Doesn't really have an effect scale, but it does have a multiplier scale. Of course, a 6/6 doing 840%, which is okay. It's not the highest damage in the game. You'd mainly use it for utility, for it decreasing skills of ranks, and then depleting the old gauge, depending on how many skills they've lowered, basically. Which is not too bad, and of course having a 6/6 is what you want for as much CC as possible, especially in game modes like Chaos Mode or even Hero Arena. You want as much CC as possible. In Hero Arena, if you're using Matrona, you're probably not going first, but in Chaos Mode, you always want to go first, so as much CC you can get as possible is what you want. Onto her passive. This is what makes her actually quite decent. Applies an effect on the allies which decreases damage taken by 30% at the start of battle for 2 turns. What this basically does, unfortunately, is a blue buff, but it just gives you basically a 30% damage reduction buff for 2 turns. It is blue, which is unfortunate. Thankfully, we don't have any buff cancel or like buff removal in the meta, because if it was, it would be quite bad. She would basically be practically useless. If, like, for example, Rimru was to come back, like passive buff removal, she would be in big trouble, but thankfully that doesn't exist. And then heals debuffed allies by 20% of their max HP at the start of the allies' turn. That is probably her most redeeming factor, is the healing, especially in like Hero Arena. You're going to be taking lots of damage. Most teams have a debuffer, so the AI is always going to pick the debuff card first, or they have a passive debuffer, so you're always going to be debuff. That 20% healing is quite nice, plus with the 30% damage reduction, it can definitely carry you, especially in Hero Arena. Chaos Mode, it's just kind of nice to have the healing. You could opt for Red Matrona, who technically has the healing the more damage she takes, but I think this Matrona is probably better, in my opinion. And then, of course, you have her relic, which is increased giant allies' basic stats by 25%. This works everywhere. It works in the back. For example, let's just say you want to use this Matrona in the back for some reason. You want to run Droll up front, you want to run Queen Diane up front, and you want to run Aaron up front. You can do that, but you can run, and then you can run this Matrona in the back. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this Matrona has the highest CC out of all the Matronas. She probably does because she's the most recent. I think she released last year. Red Matrona releasing in the year which Bird came out, which was 2021. And then, of course, was it 2021 Bird came out or 2022? I think it's 2021 Bird came out. I don't remember, it's like a blur to me now. And then, of course, her gear. So my gear is very bad for Matrona. That's because I've not improved it since I used to use her on Bird, which was a very, very long time ago. But yeah, she just needs HP defense. She's there to be a tank. Of course, if you are doing Hero Arena, you may want to run like HP crit resistance or probably HP crit resistance, just so you can sort of tank a little bit better and so you don't get crit, because if she gets crit, of course, she has no crit defense. She barely has any crit resistance. She's going to take a lot of damage. So maybe HP crit resistance, of course, if you want to use her in Hero Arena. But if you want to use it anywhere else, HP defense. Like, she's mainly there for CC, or just mainly tanking. And of course, crit resistance, crit defense can help. Resistance can help if you really want to go that way. But I'm just going to stick with HP defense, mainly for CC. Same as when she's in my box, she is still producing half-decent CC. But you know, you can always make HP defense and then change out the defense pieces for resistance if and when you want them. Crit resistance, crit defense, wherever you want. But just HP and then any of the defense-related boosters is what you want. On to gear. So all of this stuff is free. This is from Matrona. So you've got blue Matrona SSR, blue Matrona UR, red SSR, red UR, green UR, and then green SSR. Weapons. Once again, these are all just ones that I've been given for free. She hasn't actually had any event outfits. I think this headgear maybe is her only event item that she has. Apart from that, everything else has just been obtainable from just getting the Matronas, which is quite good. CC from her, like, is a lot of HP, a lot of defense, and actually quite decent stats. That's very good stats for a very bad character in terms of stat-wise. But yeah, not too bad. If you have her, she's probably worth leveling up, especially if you care about like Hero Arena or Chaos Mode. She's definitely worth giving a level up, mainly because, you know, Giants aren't too bad in Hero Arena, so not Hero Arena, Chaos Mode, and in Hero Arena she might be good for some gimmicky teams if you're of course going for the 340k and you cannot go first. But anyway, thank you for watching, I hope you guys enjoyed, I'll see you next one, goodbye.